Welcome to MSUA's Game Changers Live, where we speak with satellite and mobile connectivity thought leaders and about industry trends, new technologies, and where the future of satellite industry is headed. My name is Lisa Dreer, and today our guest is Jassem Nasser. He is the Chief Strategy Officer for Thuraya. Welcome to the show, Jassem. Here. In any case, okay, maybe we can start by having you just give us a little background on yourself and Thuraya.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks first of all for the MSUA for having me. My name is Jassem Nasser, and I've been with Thuraya for like over 23 years now. I joined in September 1998, so almost at the inception time of the company. It was like in 1997, so 1 year later. I joined as an engineer in the spectrum management department and progressed my career through the years until I become the chief strategy officer at Thuraya. Currently, I'm responsible for multiple functions, but mainly strategic planning, business development, and product management. A little bit about Thuraya. Thuraya, as you know, is a leading MSS operator. We started our commercial operations back in 2000 with the first satellite, Thuraya 1. And then after that, we launched two more satellites, Thuraya 2 in 2003, and then Thuraya 3 in 2008. All of them are L-band satellites dedicated for mobile satellite services. So voice and data connectivity to small terminals, be it handheld, data modems, M2M devices, maritime terminals, and aeronautical terminals. In 2018, Thuraya was acquired by Yasat, the FSS and HTS operator out of the UAE. And since then, Thuraya has become the mobility arm of the Yasat group, focused on providing voice and data connectivity solutions in land, sea, and in air. The journey of Thuraya is filled with lots of firsts and innovation and awards. But we have been known to be the pioneer in voice connectivity solutions, and in particular for our high quality and innovative handheld terminals. By the way, some of the awards came from the MSUA.
Oh, fantastic. That's wonderful. So, we invited you here today to talk a little bit about the future of mobile satellite connectivity and just like new technologies that are coming on and things that users should be looking for. So, maybe we can start by having you talk a little bit about what you feel is the most important role that the satellite industry has to play in the future of mobile connectivity.
Okay. Um, I think there's no doubt that SATCOM solutions continue to be in demand, and there is growing requirements for connectivity around the world. Recent events like such as the COVID pandemic has shown how some of the terrestrial networks are not equipped alone to satisfy the requirements from different market segments. Mobility SATCOM solutions have specific drivers that we need to focus on, as these will help us understand the role of the satellite industry. I'll name a few of them. So, one is that we support and satisfy mission critical applications. So, whether it is a governmental or a commercial customer, the customer always needs SATCOM connectivity, and it does not necessarily have to be for like backup communications mode. It could very well be a primary mode of communications for them. Another driver is safety of life services. If you know, I mean, you know that in maritime and the aeronautical applications, we have the GMDSS and the AMSRS, which are safety of life services, and these depend and use L-band SATCOM connectivity. A third driver would be emergency and insurance communications. What do you do when terrestrial networks are not available or when they can't provide reliable service? The satellite industry has to continue its innovation, technological wise and commercial or business wise, to remain relevant, important, and significant in the future of mobile connectivity. A final note on this topic here. I think we do not communicate enough about the role of our industry, especially when it comes to saving of lives and connecting communities, or the role we play in bridging the digital divide. Take an example, extending the education to schools in remote areas, just as an example.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully, this is one way that we are sharing and communicating that information. What would you say you see as some of the most significant changes that are going to come in the satellite industry in the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 years?
Okay, that's a tough one. I mean, no one has a crystal ball, but let me try to address that. See, I think over the past, let's say, 4 or 5 years, there have been certain themes that are going to unwrap themselves and cause impact in the satellite industry. I'll name few of them that come to my mind now. One is the success or otherwise of the big LEOs like Starlink and OneWeb. Similarly, the success of small LEOs who are focused on mainly on IoT and M2M market segments and applications. The consolidation integration wave in the industry, we should expect to see more of this maybe in the next 12 months or 12 to 24 months, I would say. And one more thing, I think there is increasing interest from the mobile network operators in the satellite industry to strengthen their offerings and diversify their portfolio. So these are some of the themes that I think are going to unwrap and going to show us more changes in the satellite industry in the next 12 to 24 months. We should expect to see more changes. Some might say disruptions in the near future in our industry.
Sure, sure. What do you see as some of the greatest challenges to delivering a commercial satellite service to the market today?
That's another tough question. I think one is the customer requirements. The customers are becoming very smart. They're becoming very intelligent about the use of satellite services, and with the advancement in the terrestrial services and mobile services, one of the things that you see is that customers are always having that experience in their terrestrial world, and they want to have some sort of a seamless connectivity or seamless solution from the satellite industry. They don't want to be using something different. They want to use the same thing. They want to have the same feel. They want to have it plug and play. So that is, I think, one of the challenges. I think another challenge would be is are the regulatory regimes around the world. I mean, in certain regions we have so much fragmentation between the regulatory regimes, and that does not help with the promotion or with the penetration of the satellite services and solutions. Despite the important role that we play and we continue to play, will continue to play in the future. I think the commercialization of the space industry and the interest that it has got in the recent years is something that is going to help with some of the challenges we're facing today.
Right, right. So when you think about the criteria that users should be looking at in terms of the satellite services that they are using, what criteria do you think that they should be looking at?
Okay, it's interesting to put myself in the shoes of the end user or the customer. Earlier we talked about the drivers of the for Satcom connectivity, whether it is for primary or backup mode of communications. When it comes to satellite services solutions, I think reliability and availability is probably the number one criteria. Other criteria would include total cost of ownership, or in other words, the value the end user is getting. There is the interoperability element with other technologies, which I alluded to earlier about the seamless use, So the integration with other technologies, the BYOD, bring your own device kind of concept. And then you have the flexibility and ease of use. Again, same thing. We're talking about the plug and play, the seamless feel between using a terrestrial device, a smartphone, and using a satellite terminal. So these criteria might very well change in their order of importance depending on the customer segment. But in my view, the users would normally focus or should focus first on reliability and value. And the value does not need to be necessarily limited to the financial element. It has to look into the the overall benefit for the end user.
Sure. What what types of advancements are Thuraya working on related to this interoperability and availability?
Okay. Uh, w- Now we have embarked a couple years back on our next generation program, the Thuraya 4 next generation system, and it's a complete transformation program for us in terms of the space segment, the ground segment, and the user terminals. We have already announced the contract for the Thuraya 4 satellite with Airbus Defence and Space. We've already announced the contract for a next generation broadband connectivity platform and products with Cobham Satcom. And we're working on a few more solutions, platforms that will be announced in due course with the other vendors and going through the standard RFP process. Today, for example, just to give an example on broadband connectivity in our world of L-band MSS, we're limited to the half a megabit kind of throughput. We're looking to doubling that at least with the next generation system. That is one thing that we're looking to do: higher capacity, higher throughput, uh, integration with and interoperability with the terrestrial services. We are one of the first, or maybe the only one, um, who has provided dual mode terminals that support GSM connectivity and satellite connectivity at the same time. We have it on our handheld terminals and also other data devices. So that is one of the things that we have done. We have more than 390 roaming agreements with mobile operators around the world. That is one thing. The other thing is that we're looking to develop special solutions that focus on more on integrating with existing terrestrial technologies like UHF, VHF. These are more specialized solutions for specific market segments like the government, civil defense, but it basically allows converting or allowing a technology that is dependent on line of sight to become beyond line of sight, so BLOS kind of applications and user terminals, I would say.
Wow, what does that mean for public safety, emergency response, those types of use cases when you can move between a satellite network and a cellular network, which sounds like that's what you were talking about?
Exactly. So it provides huge value, I think, for them because they can continue to use their existing equipment. They can integrate with 4G, 5G networks, satellite connectivity, even their own sort of LAN mobile radio solutions that are UHF, EHF, VHF kind of technology based. So all of that can be orchestrated into a single solution for a customer, like in the civil defense, or someone who is running or in the non-governmental organization, NGO sector, for example. That provides them huge value because they can continue to use their equipment, they can benefit from the satellite connectivity, and they can switch seamlessly between different networks, so that they're not disconnected at any point in time, and they always have reliable connectivity with their equipment.
Sure. When you look at the key new technologies that are coming into the satellite industry, especially for mobile applications, what are those solutions that users need to know about, and how can they get educated and smart about these new technologies?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Uh, Let me try to address. I think it's two parts, so let's take it one by one here. How do users plan for new technologies? Users in different segments will have their own purchasing cycles and annual budgets for connectivity requirements. I mean, general connectivity requirements. Now, this does not mean that when there is a very cost efficient and easy to use solution that can make a big difference in their operation, that they should only wait for the purchase cycle. Therefore, it is always beneficial for the users to familiarize themselves with new solutions, services, commercial offerings. This can be done by attending the satellite relevant events, having regular contact with their SATCOM providers, and also having direct contact engagement with the satellite operators themselves. The regular and direct engagement or interaction with the providers allows them to have better understanding and plan for new technologies. At Thuraya, for example, we have events such as the annual Service Provider Forum, and we also conduct customized roadshows for specific segments or geographies or even an end user. We also have a market development function that is tasked with direct engagement with the end users. This allows us to better understand their needs, their purchase cycles, their budgets, and feed that into our development roadmap and also into our distribution network of service partners. Now, in terms of key new technologies in our L-band mobility part of the satellite industry, I'll try to highlight some of the examples that are relevant to Thuraya's portfolio. BYOD solutions, bring your own device. For example, the SAT sleeve terminal that we have, which allows you to use your iPhone or Samsung terminal and convert it into a satellite terminal with the use of an adapter, or an innovative handheld solution like the X5 Touch, which is the first satellite smartphone, Android-based smartphone. Uh, Another example are the BLOS, beyond line of sight solutions, for example, aero connectivity solutions, in particular for drones, specialized solutions that allow, again, that seamless integration, interoperability with other technologies like push-to-talk solutions, which is very relevant to customer segments, like you mentioned, the civil defense. There is also the IoT and M2M solutions and applications, which is becoming more and more important, whether it is for governmental sectors, enterprise verticals, or even consumers in terms of like tracking consumers. Finally, I would say we don't need to be limited to what portfolio we bring as SATCOM operators. We also support customers to bring their own technology and allow them to use it over our satellite. So in that case, we become sort of a raw capacity provider rather than a managed services provider. But that allows the complete autonomy to the end customer to use their own technology, control their own services, traffic, and provision it in the way that they want and they need to do. So these are some of the themes or the key technologies that I think are relevant to the satellite industry and specifically to the mobile satellite services segment.
Wow, fantastic. That all sounds so exciting. I feel like we've barely scratched the surface. So I would love to have you come back on again and maybe we can focus in on some of these technologies that you were just sharing.
I would love to. I would love to,
Yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah. So, Jassem, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your insights. We really appreciate it. I also want to take a moment to thank the Mobile Satellite Users Association, MSUA, for hosting these sessions. To learn more about the MSUA, please visit msua.org. And you can learn all about our other webcasts, our weekly newsletter that gives you all the latest in mobile satellite technology, updates and news and events. So all of those events that Jassem was talking about, you can learn about those in the newsletter. And then also we have our upcoming annual Satellite Mobile Innovation Awards in March. So if you have a great satellite technology that you want to nominate, you can do that on msua.org. And we'll see you next time on MSUA's Game Changers Live.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.